in few minutes. We have been looking into personality and conscious mind, subconscious mind, and how this has been working. I would like to share my screen. Is it possible, Salim Sab? Can I?
Yes, you can share.
Okay. Am I sharing? Is it able? Is it visible?
Yes, visible.
Okay. So, a fast recap with what was happening so far. Like we've been talking, like subconscious mind, conscious mind, how much role that subconscious mind and the conscious mind is playing, and how by following Islam perfectly, automatically that you become like you man with good akhlaq, with character, like now what Bishmamsa was talking, like akhlaq, character, personality development, being a good person is very, very important in Islam. Your character means a lot. Yeah. And for that, how much role this mind plays with our subconscious mind, conscious mind, personality traits, how we develop all these things, mashallah. So looking into this, so far we have seen conscious mind, subconscious mind, how it looks, and we saw the play of conscious mind and the subconscious mind plays a maximum role we have seen. And when you're looking into the role that subconscious mind plays, we saw that it is 95%. And while going into that, how to play with the subconscious mind, how to program it, how to reprogram it, how to, yeah, your subconscious mind is like an autopilot. Whenever you go into a state called mind wandering, you start mind wandering, like thinking. Yeah, whenever you start thinking, it's your subconscious mind which comes into action. Yeah. And slowly we tilted back and we slowly started seeing the connection between subconscious mind and the language. How your subconscious mind and language, because subconscious mind, when it is working, when thinking starts, language is very important when thinking happens. We saw how do you think? You start thinking in terms of words. You start thinking in terms of words. So words are very important. And what words? Whatever word you are very familiar with, whatever word you are your mother tongue. Generally, you are very fluent with your mother tongue. So you are going to start thinking in your mother tongue. In case you are more fluent than your mother tongue, one other language you have learned, yeah, so that language is also very, very important. So whichever language you're fluent with, your thinking starts with. And before that, we saw subconscious mind, a programming happens in subconscious mind till the age of 7. It is called theta hypnosis. I would like to just show you a small, very basic, not very go deep into the subject, but look at that. We saw something like theta hypnosis. Age wise, we can see the frequency of the mindset. So that we call unconscious mind, 0 to 4 years, and 4 to 7 years we call sleepy and subconscious mind, the age group, that 0 to 4, 4 to 7, 7 to 4, 14 to 26. All this refers to the age. Yeah, 0 to 4. They usually in psychology they called it like delta. Yeah, delta consciousness, delta hypnosis. Then we have theta hypnosis. We saw around up to 7 years. It's called theta hypnosis, which happens automatically. And after 7 years, what happens is, if you want to do any reprogramming with your mind, you have to do something called repetition. Yeah, you have to keep on doing something called repetition, that we have seen in Islamic life. We always do. We do azkar, we every day zikr. Going out of the house, coming into the house, the toilet, we're starting something good, is starting something, whatever it is. Yeah. So we connect with ourselves with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So now we see the connection between thinking and words, language. Language is very, very important. What kind of language that you learn is also very, very important. And we have seen even what the language, the nature of the language that you learn is also very, very important. And we have seen Arabic language, little bit I spoke about the Arabic language, and the greatness. Even if you have somebody learned Arabic language, alim ulama knows very well what the power of the Arabic language is, how beautiful it is. So whatever language you start learning, the nature of the language, the structure of the language starts automatically affecting you. The very nature of the language and the structure of the language starts affecting you. Yeah. So for if the proper language is not conveyed, then your thinking process, yeah, you can see how it works up with your thinking process. You may have a clear thinking with language, and if there is no language, then the thinking usually gets hindered. So structure of the language, nature of the language affects you very much. And if you learn more than one language, what happens is you become very, what do you call, like dexterous. They call ambidextrous. Your thinking power increases with the nature of the language, with the fluency of the language. That is the work of a language. Let me just show you one other slide here. Look here what we have to say about a language. Language and thinking. It's not very clear. Anyway, let me read it out. One of the most important areas for psychologists investigating language has been the way that language interlinks with other cognitive processes. Language, you can see, it interlinks with cognitive processes. In particular, the debate has been centered around the precise relationship between language and thinking. Language and thinking has been always related, and thinking and language one and the same. It's still a debate, still a research is going on, but most part of the research says language and thinking are the one and the same as the behavior certain. So there is a very strong relationship between language and thinking. I told you in the beginning of the class, yeah, in the beginning, I told you, imagine a situation where you have to communicate without talking. You have to fall into a communicating without talking, without using words, without having a language. You will find it is very difficult. I am not talking about the situation where these latest techniques, the Braille alphabets for the blind, school for the deaf and dumb, the different ways of means of communication has been well equipped and developed these days. Even the deaf and dumb able to communicate with it. They learn a language, not that way. I'm talking about a very primary, very base situation where such techniques are not available. You human beings know no language. You have to communicate only with gestures. You will find it is very difficult to completely get across everything. Yeah. And what happens when you are fluent in more than one language, and learning a different language? Even in the history of Sahabis, you can see Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam has asked a Sahabi to learn Hebrew language, or Jewish Hebrew language, and the Sahabi went and learned it in a matter of 7 days or 10 days. I am not very clear about the number of days that is. And he came back and told Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, I have learned the language, because Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam has to send an envoy to a foreign country where somebody who speaks the same language was necessary. So knowing a different language is directly having a link with your thinking process. And what happens when you start learning different languages? As I told you, the structure of the language. Look into the structure of the language. For example, look into the language of English language. Yeah, let me just English language. How do you ask what is your name? There's one way. Any other way of asking your name? Your name, please. Or what is your name? Can you tell me your name? Yeah, you primarily, officially or formally, if you want to ask what is in English language, you ask what is your name. You have 4 words. You can see that you have 4 words. What is your name? Suppose you are going to ask it in Arabic. I'm not getting the Arabic font. You may ask it like ma ismuka. Ma ismuka. It looks like 2 words. Ma ismuka. Suppose you go into French, it looks like comment comment vous appelez, comment vous appelez-vous. This is the French language. So in English language, you have 4 words. What is your name? Okay, right. Now when it comes to French, you look like same 4 words. What, comment vous appelez-vous. When you pronounce it like it gets a liaison, so you pronounce it like comment vous appelez-vous. Comment vous appelez-vous. Look, 4 words, 4 words. But the actual fact is, if you look into the language part very deeply, literally word by word, comment means how, and vous means you. Yeah, how, you. Whereas none of these words, 4 words, there is not a single word which means what. There is no word which is equivalent to is. There is no word equivalent to your. There is no word which means name in this French language. Yeah, in French language, if you want to say what, it is like quoi, Quoi or que. This is the word. And is like est in French language. Your should be, it is like votre, or it can be ton, ta, te, any of that. And the name is like no. Do you find any of these 4 words in what is your name in French? It is like comment vous appelez-vous. Literally, this word comment vous appelez-vous means, it is like, please don't mistake me for learning teaching French language. I'm just trying to show the difference between 2 languages. Then we'll get back to the place. Just a small little difference I would like to display. I'm certainly not teaching French yet. What is your name? Comment vous appelez? Literally, what comment vous appelez means, how do you call yourself? How do you call yourself? This is how a Frenchman understands when you say comment vous appelez-vous. Yeah, but never in English language, neither in American English, nor in Australian English or the British English. Anyway, no one is going to ask for a name like how do you call yourself? Never. We always know, always the thing is like, what is your name? What is your name? So look at the construction of words, look at the understanding. A Frenchman, when you say, comment vous appelez, it means to what is your name? Like he's asking for their name. But in English language, it looks more straight, like what is your name? So when you learn a different language, when you start learning a different language, what really happens is your thinking is getting tuned up. Different languages make a different thinking, different your thinking keeps changing. That's why people say like bilingualism. If you know more than one language, yeah, you can, if you know the benefits of the bilingual, your thinking develops more. And when it comes to thinking, you know, there is a different kinds of thinking. They classify thinking into different process. Yeah, thinking into different process. How do they thinking? If you look into the kind of thinking in psychology, they say there are different kinds of thinking. They classify it into 6 kinds of thinking. They white and they have called like hats, 6 thinking hats. What hat you're wearing, and that kind of a thinking that you do. Basically, even in deep psychology, even it is more classified, it is more differentiated, deep. But in general, they make it like 6 thinking hats. White thinking, white hat, a red hat, a black hat, a yellow hat, and green, and the blue hat. Like you have in IT, computer programming, coding, you have a hacking, yeah, white hacking, black hacker, white hacker, and brown hacker. So different kinds of black hacking techniques, how you learn in coding. You have different thinking hats. Yeah, what are the thinking hats? What each thinking hat refers to? Let us see what each thinking hat refers to. Many of you have, some of you have used these techniques perhaps. White thinking hat refers to neutrality, and yellow one refers to positivity, and creativity refers to green hat, emotions refers to red hat, and black hat refers to pessimism, and blue hat refers to organization. What these words mean, what does it mean? So when you look into a problem, they say you have to wear these different types of caps and have a look into the issues. When you have a problem with you, how do you look at it? You take the positive side. When you have a look, what are the possible things that I will be able to do? For example, now we had this morning we had a problem that I'm not able to get a link or something is happening. So immediately headmaster sahab saying, then there was a conclusion like, why don't we make the second person come into the first session instead of 7:30? Is it possible to accommodate him in the 6:30 to 7:30 session? I'm not able to get a link. Or there is a thinking happens immediately. The mind goes from one place to another and thinks what can be done right now. Yeah, that is how when automatically these caps, they say in everyone it is available and it keeps on changing. White hat, usually it refers to the data, facts, information that we store in your mind. Red hat, we saw already with emotions, it is primarily dealing with feelings and instinct and intuitions. What that intuition is a very big topic that we will deal with that, and we'll see how very beautifully Islam, Quran, Hadith deals with intuition. Yeah, intuition. And the black hat usually deals with difficult situations, potential problems, and why now in the morning perhaps it was the black hat which was working very beautifully with the Salim Saab and mashallah, and the Peshwam Saab came into line, and half an hour earlier he came and could deliver his program. And now then yellow hat, you can see what the yellow hat does. It is values, benefits, and why something may work. And blue hat manage processes, organization, how we organize things. The very person who organized this program. Yeah. So when you start into organizing things, you have to think of related network things. After this, after this, after this. Plan A, plan B. If this doesn't work, what happens to that one? Yeah. If you have some issue with the background sound, I think there's a program going on somewhere in the neighborhoods, and it's a huge mic they're using. I'm sorry, I'm not able to do anything, any filters I'm not able to have. I'm sorry about this sound. Yeah. Okay. And the blue hat and the green hat. They call this as six thinking hats. And you can see the green hat, it deals with creativity, solutions, alternatives, and as I told you, plan A, plan B, and new ideas, creativity generally, how you do with creativity. So thinking hats, they call it as. They call these things as thinking hats. How a thinking hat works, what are the difference between different languages and how it influences the brain structure. And when we start talking about the brain structure, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created a male brain and a female brain. For the men, a kind of structure, for the women, a kind of structure. And we talk about, when you may think it is not talking about man and women or superiority or inferiority, but it is talking about two creations. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala very often says, Allah has created people differently. Yeah? Man is created in a way and woman is created in a way. So we always talk about this in Western world, in the world, generally people talk about equality. Yeah, we have to be equal. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you can see, created man and women differently. We are not saying any one is inferior or superior, but two things are created differently, or both are different. The very nature, the very brain, how it is created, or the many things, yeah, physically, biologically. If you go scientifically, you will say men or women are very different, even from the heart, from the number of bones, and whatever it is. You can see a lot of differences. So when two things are different, we don't talk about equality. We talk about equity, gender equity. The term which is used generally, you will see it is gender equity. Equity. What is exactly what is equality and equity? Equity is something like you have two children, one boy and girl, or two boys or two girls, or different ages. One is, for example, 15 years. The other one is 5-year-old. One is 15-year-old and the other one is 5-year-old. You are buying a book for your children. And you think of the word equality. So I'm buying a book, I have to be equal. I have to treat both my children equally, the 5-year-old and the 15-year-old. Both are boys or both are girls, or one is a boy or one is a girl. So when both are boys, you think, okay, I have to be very clear. So whatever book that I'm going to buy for the 15-year-old, I'm going to buy for the 5-year-old. Think, imagine, will it work it out? Yeah, the kind of book that you're going to buy for the 15-year-old, you're buying the same book for the 5-year-old. Or you're buying a book for the 5-year-old and you feel the same thing should be given to the 15-year-old. It won't be like correct for both of them. Or think of a food. What food you're buying something fried, French fries, or buying a burger, or buying some other halim, or whatever food you want to buy. You want to buy for the 15-year or for the 5-year. Same food may not be equal all the time. It is not suitable for both of them. So you buy, whether it is food or it is dress or it is books, or in the way you treat them and take them out, in what situation you take the small kid, or what are the places you take the grown up. You have different, according to their nature you treat them. That is what we call it as equity. Yeah. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has always done this, not just equality also wherever is needed, and equity wherever is needed. And we will see that maybe in the next session more clearly. I came very late this morning. Edmonton sub is at 29:30 now. Can I take more minutes, or should I end it?
Okay, continue, please.
I will take just for a moment. So equity, Jazakallah. Equity says how you feel. I would like to just say one incident in the life of Ali radiallahu ta'ala anhu, and see, this is just a small example to show how equity works. Okay. What is equity? Let us see. Equity is when Ali radiallahu ta'ala was the caliph. Those days traveling is not such an easy affair, and you cannot get on your camel, get all your things what you wanted, and go ahead with your business trip from Mecca to Medina, or Medina to Mecca, or Mecca to Syria, or to any other place. It was not easy. When you have many things, you have to take care of somebody. You have to have a group of people, 2-3 people get together and start traveling, because you have a lot of problems, natural, animals, and people's, bandits, thieves, so many things that could happen, even natural sand winds, sand dunes, so many things that you have to travel in groups together. So in such a way, people always try to travel in groups from one place to another place, especially when you're a businessman. You have a lot of business commodities with you, your camel is loaded, and you are traveling. So that way, when two people were traveling, they met another man who was alone. He said, can I join with you? I'm alone. I cannot go ahead alone. Say, can I? So the third person joins with them. So there is a time which happens, that is the lunch time which happens. So during lunchtime, all the three sit down to eat, and they find the two people are well equipped, say they had something to deliver, something to share in the food. The third person who came and joined in between did not have any food to share. The two people, one of them gave 3 rotis, the other person gave 5 rotis. Yeah. And totally there were 8 rotis. Totally how many rotis? 8 rotis. Please pay attention. You have to do a little bit of mathematics now. So 2 people gave 8 rotis, and 3 people sat together and started having food. So what happened? The person who did not share any food, he felt a little uneasy. Sorry, I could not share any food. I did not have any food. So after eating, he said, let me give you some money. So he took 8 dirhams and gave it to the person, to one of them. And people said, and the man decided, the one who gave 5 rotis, he took 5 dirhams, and the man and gave 3 dirhams to the man who gave 3 rotis. But the man who gave 3 rotis is not happy. He said, see, we both shared our food. It is not fair that you give me 3 dirhams and 5 dirhams. We have to share equally. Give me 4 dirhams, you take 4 dirhams. And slowly the argument started growing bigger. And he said, no, let us go check it up with our Caliph, Ali radiallahu ta'ala. So what happens? And Ali radiallahu ta'ala, he says to the man who took 3 dirhams. See, you got 3 dirhams. It's very good, mashallah. It is good for you. You take it. If you want me to take it in the court, like you want to proceed legally, you may not even get this one. So whatever Allah has given you, by default, fine, take it. Don't make it a case and make it take it to the court. But the man said, no, I would like to take it to the court. I want to see what happens, how that man can have 5 dirhams. Then now Ali radiallahu ta'ala said, okay, let me go legally. He said, how many rotis the first person gave? 5. Other person gave 3. Now 3 persons were eating. If you divide 5 rotis, each roti into 3 pieces, in general, he said, let us consider in the sahan, all 3 people were sitting and eating roti together. Let us consider that all the 3 were eating equal amounts of food. Yeah? Do you understand? Let us consider. This is how the legal process goes. Let us take that all the 3 people are taken equal amount of food. In that case, each roti is divided into 3 parts. Am I right? Are you people following? Right? Each roti is divided into 3 parts. Okay. Now, 5 into 3, 15 pieces of roti. The man who gave 5 rotis, actually he has given to the Baitul Mal 15 pieces. The man who gave 3 rotis divided, each roti divided into 3, 3 threes are 9 rotis. He has delivered 9 rotis to the Baitul Mal. This man has delivered 15 to the Baitul Mal. Let us consider the sahan as the Baitul Mal. So 15 rotis to the Baitul Mal and 15 pieces, and this man has shared 9 pieces. So 3 people. So how many 15 plus 9? 24 pieces totally. How many people were eating? 3 people were eating, 24. Each have taken equal share. So how many pieces each has taken? How many pieces each has taken? I hope nobody is sleeping now or in a hurry. Now each have taken 8 pieces. Each person has consumed 8 pieces. 8 threes are 24. Okay. So the man who gave 15 pieces to the Baitul Mal, common sahan, he consumed how much? How much he took back? 8. So 15 minus 8, how much is left now? 15 minus 8, 7 pieces. So he has given 7 pieces to the Baitul Mal. But the man who took 9 pieces he gave, but he consumed how many? 8 pieces he consumed. How many he gave it to the Baitul Mal? Only 1 piece. So Ali radiallahu ta'ala said, you deserve only 1 dirham out of 8 dirham, and the 7 dirhams goes to the man who gave 15. This is what exactly is equity. Even in business terms, if you go mutual funds and other things, those who are dealing with business administration, or dealing with management papers, equity is a different word. Equity is treating people accordingly. In Islam, you see a man once he reaches the adulthood, he has to pray 5 times a day till his death. No concession for him, and even otherwise he goes sick or extremely any other situations happen. Otherwise, in a normal situation for a man, he has to pray 5 times a day. There is no excuse in that. Whereas for a woman, she has some excuse. After reaching adulthood, she has some excuses in the prayer, in the fasting. Yeah, but for a man, by nature, in generality, it doesn't happen. So Allah deals equity, not equality. Equality also happens where it is possible, where it is needed. Equity is given where it is needed. So Allah, he treats people correctly with equity. But the whole world talks about man and women in equal terms. Yeah, let me wind up here. I think I've taken enough time. Inshallah, if they're given a next chance, inshallah, we will see that in the next session. Jazakallah khair, jazakallah. I've taken more time. Alhamdulillah, Salim Sahab. Alhamdulillah, jazakallah khair.
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah, Janab Shamsudeen Sahab, really, your session is very inspiring and motivating, and you have taken different topics regarding conscious, subconscious, and heads, colors of heads, what it denotes. And apart from that, we have very, very fortunate they have learned today something, what is French language. Really, we are appreciating you. Our heartfelt thanks to you on behalf of the Ummah and myself. Inshallah, no doubt that we will continue our session in the next week also, inshallah, by this time. Thank you, Janab Shamsudeen Sahab. We will see you, inshallah, next session. Thank you. And now the one more announcement I would like to make, that today we are having that creativity class, that is regarding that say mind mapping study techniques and memory. It started by 9:45. And apart from that, evening we were having a science fair program lecture by Dr. Professor Abdul Nasser Sahab. Yeah, the brain behind by the science projects by 4:45 p.m. in science in Tamil. Yeah, it is really it will be very helpful to you, very beneficial to you, and particularly for science teachers and for your science students. And you have to be equipped with it for the coming science fair projects. Today, this world needs science students more than that other than anything else. We have to create science creativity, imagination powers among these. And once upon a time, we were thinking of the science exhibitions. Now that is become a far more distant. Science fair is now the day of the talk of the day today. And we will be having this. And apart from that, tomorrow morning, inshallah, we will be having Tamil session. And by this time, I request our teachers, to other teachers, knowing Tamil, kindly attend this and make it powerful. It is only for your beneficial that
Amin sir, Amin sir.
Mr. Amin Sahib will be addressing it in Tamil. Improvement, really very wonderful session will be there for the both Tamil eminent speakers. We, the Umayyad people, are conducting this purely for the benefit of the teachers, for the ulamas, and for management people. I request that time loss cannot be regained, and we are standing on the threshold of the truth and delicate position of the education system. Please make use of it. Please make use in the interest of the children. Alhamdulillah, we hope that lot of more audience will be there, inshallah, tomorrow. We expect you, anticipate you. Thanking you in anticipation, and we will see you tomorrow, inshallah. All the best. Thank you. Jazakallah khair.